I am here with Lufisto. This is not at a show. This is actually, we are outside of a Cracker Barrel. This is probably one of the weirder interviews I'm doing, but this is super cool. How you doing, Lufisto?
I'm pretty good. I'm a little banged up from yesterday, but it's all good. It's part of the job, so I'll be fine.
Yeah, you got a concussion yesterday, didn't you?
Yeah, I got a kick to the head, and I thought I was fine until I went backstage and I sat down, and then it started like turning, and then I had to run out to puke. So yeah, that's what happened.
Yeah, that's not good.
No, it's not good. But as I mean, it happens. It's part of wrestling, unfortunately, and. Like I said, I've been there before. I'll be fine. I'll survive.
Hey, you've been doing this for around 20 years. You've probably experienced this a couple times before.
Yeah, actually, I was not too bad with concussions. I've been pretty lucky. If I had maybe 3 in my whole 20 years, I mean, I've been knocked out a little bit, but to the point where I could say it's a concussion. Like, I've been lucky with those, so I won't complain.
Yeah, that's pretty good. In your 20 years, like 3, that's pretty good. All right, yeah, anything like, what were your thoughts on your match yesterday, minus the concussion part?
I'm not too sure how to describe it. Everything was fine, and then when I don't know if it's the kick or something. But if I wouldn't describe it as one of my best matches, but like I said, you can't have a good night every night. I'm just okay this morning. I'm not. It got better, and the fans at AIW are always super good, super nice. They're really supportive, and they're funny also. They make jokes all the time when you wrestle. There was also Kevin Owens in the front row, and so I just reminded him that I did beat him for the CCW championship.
Yeah, there was someone dressed up as Kevin Owens in the front row last night. This was a thing. It was great.
It was. I think I seen Hulk Hogan once also at AIW, but yeah, the stars hang out at AIW, it seems.
It's the place to be.
The place to be.
You brought up CZW, which you have a infamous probably isn't the right word to use, but you have a very storied career there. Like, you've done Cage of Death, you've won, I want to say, the Iron Man title, also known as the New Horror title for anyone that's got into it right around that time. Deathmatch career. Like, what are some of your favorite death matches, or, like, just story time for death matches?
Story time with death matches. I would say my favorite of all time will always be the one with Joe Leader in Mexico. It was for a promotion called NJX, and that promotion was really cool because I'm a big heavy metal fan, and they would play heavy metal the whole show. So you would wrestle, in heavy metal music would be playing during the match.
That's cool.
Non-stop. The ring was always surrounded with barbed wire, and the fans were standing a little bit like beyond wrestling. So they were really up close to the action, and I didn't know Joe before I got there. People were telling me he was a great wrestler and stuff, and when we got there, we just kicked the living hell out of each other, fought all over the place. He gave me a Spanish fly from the apron through lights. And after, of course, it was 1, 2, 3 because I could not get up from that thing. But it's still one of my favorite. People are still talking about it. Last time I went to Mexico, people were still telling me that's the best match they've ever seen, best intergender they've ever seen, and so. Yeah, I have great memories from that match. And although I'm not too into doing death matches anymore because I think I did pretty much everything I needed to do in that field. Joe Leader would probably be the one that I would wrestle again in a death match because it was so fun and challenging. Besides him, of course, the Cage of Death was... the thing with the Cage of Death is I showed up to the show and I had a match which was a 6-man match. B-Boy was in there, Luke Hawx. And so I get back after my match and John Zendig's like, "Hey kid, "You want Nick Gage? It's tonight." He's like, I'm like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "Just take the mic and add yourself to the match." I'm like, "What?" He's like, "You're in the cage, kid." I'm like, "Oh my god." So I didn't want to mess up my gear, so I put some shorts on and an old CCW shirt I had, and I just jumped in the cage, got thrown. There was like a iron board with Christmas ornaments on it. That hurt so bad. And got thrown in glasses by John Zendig, and there's Nick Gage and Lobo. So I never thought I would be in such a match with, like, what we can say like CZW icons. And well, my electric, I don't remember how it was called, the electric barbed wire light tube, whatever, with Mickey Knuckles was a hell of a fight. I've always had a lot of respect for Mickey Knuckles, because back then there was pretty much only 2 girls that were wrestling the guys, and we doing hardcore also, and she was almost like my sister from another mister, I would say, and we never met, and that was the first time we clashed. And so much chemistry, so much love for Mickey Knuckles. So these are definitely 3 matches that stands out for me when it comes to death matches.
I know that light tube, the electrified light tube barbed wire death match. I forget what Queen of the Death match was that's on, but
7. Was it 2007? Yeah.
I want to say it's on YouTube actually for free.
It is for free, yeah. Or it's also on. Is it on my DVD? No, it's not. Go on YouTube. It's on YouTube for free.
Crazy match. Yes, electrified light tubes. If that doesn't sell you.
Yeah.
Continuing on some more death matches here. We brought this up before the recording. The triple threat light tube death match at CZW Fear with Beef Wellington, Sexy Eddie, and you, where you got a gigantic piece of glass pulled out of your back.
Oh my god, yeah. It's, we had a pile of light tubes, and if I remember correctly, I don't remember it's Eddie, or I think it's Eddie, gave me a spine buster on top of it. And then I feel something in my back. I was rolling around like, there's something there, what is it? And then I go back in the corner, and I hear Wax, the photographer, is like, "Lufisto, don't move." I'm like, what's going on? And then he goes, and he pulls it out of my back, and I'm like, my God, what was that? And only after the match, he showed me, "Well, kid," because they kept calling me kid. It was a piece of glass, like a good 2 to 3 inch, that was stuck in my back, around, like, close to my spine, and it kept, like, bleeding and bleeding. And the funny thing is, the week later, it was my debut at Shimmer, and I'm wrestling Mercedes Martinez, and the second match, and I have that patch on my back, because it was still, like, really tender, and the skin was not, like, super, like, it was not back to what it like used to be. And during the match with Allison Danger, she the little band-aid or whatever I had, like, was falling apart. She rips it off. It's like, let's work this. And then I started bleeding at Shimmer. I'm like, oh my God. We can't really see it. It was like not a lot, but yeah, I was walking around with that thing for 2 weeks, I think.
Yeah, because I was have to say, I'm watching that. It's like, just because I think whoever's filming, I'm assuming Smart Margary was filming, had the camera right by your back when it got pulled out.
You can clearly see the photographer pull that piece of glass.
It's like,
oh, I know.
Because I've seen a ton of death matches. That's one of the more brutal things. Just not light tube shots or anything. It's that.
Well, I can only, like, at least I can be happy that I did hit Sexy Eddie in the crotch and in the butt with light tubes. So there was some payback in there.
Yeah, you got your revenge.
Oh, yeah, I did. I won the match, too, so I can't complain.
Retained your Iron Man title.
I did, yes.
Only female to hold that belt?
Yes, only female to hold CZW gold.
Yeah, that's true. Unfortunately, didn't get to hold the world title, but...
Hey, I'm just saying out there, Joe Gacy's challenging people. I went on this Facebook and says, "Joe, I want a shot." So I'm saying it right now. I'm still available. I still want a shot at the CZW heavyweight title. So Deej, book it.
Make this happen. And more recently, kind of just skipping ahead here. I'm just gonna bounce around with topics because you a couple years ago you debuted at AIW as an unannounced surprise, which was amazing, and you've unfortunately haven't had the best record at AIW, but
No.
you debuted against Athena, now known as Ember Moon, in at Battle of the Sexes.
Yep.
Which is an all intergender show. So this is a complete surprise having something like a female on female match at the show. What were your thoughts on that match?
Well, I was just really happy about not only wrestling Athena, because her and I had great matches at WSU, so wrestling her to me was always exciting and challenging, but also debuting at AIW, because I've heard so many good things. I had a lot of people that I know that were already wrestling at AIW, so I was just very looking forward to start there, and also being a surprise is always a good thing, because you're backstage like, will they know who I am? Will I get a good reaction? Will they be happy? Because sometimes when it's a surprise, you imagine someone bigger, someone on TV, or something like a superstar. So there's that fear of not delivering or surprising people. And when I got out and people popped, like I was like, oh my God, yes, finally. And then we had that great match. Yeah, I was just really happy. It's always really important to me to try to go out there and have the best match possible. So I can honestly say that me and Athena did that day, and the fans were really happy, and I've been in AIW since. So I mean, I think I probably did a good job.
Yeah, if you've been coming back, you must have done good.
Exactly.
And you mentioned like getting a pop from the crowd. I think the crowd at first was like, "What? Lufisto?" And then it was like, "Yeah."
Yeah.
It was more a shocked, like, "Oh my God." Then you got the ridiculous pop, like, once you got the introduction.
Yeah, I was, like, really, really happy, and I always feel blessed that, as an indie wrestler, there's always that doubt that they would not know me. And there was a lot of Shimmer fans in attendance, and people who knew my work at CZW.
When you have those fans, it's super helpful.
Oh, yeah,
People have been following you.
I remember before the show, I was peeking through the curtain, and I was like, oh, I know him, I know her. I'm like, please don't know who I am.
I know you, I know you, I know you, I know you.
I was like, well, there's at least 5 people who might know who I am. I'm like...
And that was my first time seeing you live, was that show. Because I had only seen, like, footage on YouTube and DVDs and such. So that was another thing for me. I was like, yeah, this is awesome.
Yes, thanks.
But since then, you faced Mary Dobson.
Mm-hmm. Nicole Savoy.
Yeah, that was another little mini-series of matches you've had on the Indies, which I've seen 2 matches, I believe. One at Shimmer 80 last year, and GNO.
Yeah, I've wrestled Nicole at Shimmer. I think I want to say 69, but I'm not sure. But no, 65. Shimmer 65. It was her first taping with Shimmer, and I remember because they asked me who would you like to wrestle. So I went online and found the new girls that were there, and I said I really want to wrestle Nicole Savoy. I think she has something special. And I think I wasn't wrong, because we went out there and she did great. And after that, people were asking her to come back. And me and Nicole had such a good... she calls me Mom, actually. And we had a great relationship. And we had like a...
Hey, we're crowded in.
Oh.
It's cold out here.
We have unexpected fans.
We have visitors.
So I was saying, me and Nicole have a great relationship, and we had some great matches. And that Shimmer 80 match was I always loved working Nicole. We had a great matches also at Queens of Combat. So yeah, and fighting Nicole is always she's probably one of my favorite opponents too, I would say. Yeah.
I do brag on that Shimmer match, the first one that you mentioned, a ton, because that was my first time ever seeing anything from Savoy, I believe. So, especially going up against you, it was just... Oh, the burning hammer you gave, I believe, was the finish. Just right on her head.
The Shimmer 80, I I lost the match with her, but the first match I had with her, and I also at AIW, I gave her the Burning Hammer, indeed, and that was it. Yeah, not too many people. There's only one person in the world who kicked out of my Burning Hammer, and it was Kimberly.
Well, hi Kim. Hope you're listening.
Hi, Kim. I miss you.
Then again, before we start recording this, you brought up tours like Europe and Japan. How were those just matches and stuff?
Europe was, I've wrestled for Bellatrix and PCW and also for DWA in Germany. And Germany was so much fun because they were, the crowd was singing my name for some reason, Lufisto, Lufisto, Lufisto. And I was like, this is so cool. And they would scream things in German that I could not understand, of course, but they were so into the match. I've wrestled twice there. I've wrestled Wesna. I've wrestled Alpha Female also. And yeah, they were so cool and friendly, and they were so loving. For Bellatrix also, like for Saraya Knight, she has such a great production, so much love for women wrestling. She to me is my wrestling mama. She's the one I go to if I need any advice. She's so mean in the ring, but this woman is just incredible. The love and the time and everything she does for women wrestlers is just fantastic. So just working for her is a blessing. And for PCW, it was a big card with many names like Doug Williams, the Pope was there, Michael Elgin. Like, it was a very, very big card where I wrestled April Davids, and we were actually fighting for the Cruiserweight Championship, which was a male championship. I unfortunately did not win, but the crowd was great. The promoter and his wife took good care of me. Like, every time I've been into Europe, I had, like, the most amazing time. I just love the people there. Japan is where I would say I developed most of my style. I went there in 2003. They would pick wrestlers, so they picked me and one American, which was Sarah Del Rey. So we lived there for a few months. We trained, and I was taught by Mariko Yoshida, Aquino, and Ide Fujita, and it was so. Their way of training and how it is so serious to them, and it's a craft and it's an art, and this is always something I've tried to apply in my matches, because they would always tell me, speak when you fight, just make sure you scream, this is a fight, you should not stay silent. So every time I wrestle, I'm very vocal, and something I kept from Japan. How to work around injuries, I've learned from them. If you're injured, how do you change your style according to what hurts, and then you still can have a good match even if you're injured. Something I've learned in Japan that's been always useful. And I mean, Mexico is where you are a true superhero. They see you in the street, they scream your name, they come in running, they ask for autographs. In the morning, here, as much as on the TV show they will talk about football and hockey, the morning they talk about lucha. The results are in the newspaper. There's interviews. When you're in Mexico, even if, like here, sometimes wrestling, they see it more as entertainment when it should really be seen as a sport, because it hurts. You need to be trained. There's a training, and there's a big way of life behind being a wrestler, because you need to eat a certain way. You need to train. You need to. It's such a big package, and sometimes I feel that with wrestling, people don't give wrestlers the credit they should have, because of all the work. It's like, oh, it's just wrestling, it's a show, whatever, but it's so much more. You're a live stuntman or stuntwoman, and you cannot miss. There's no take one, take two. You got to go out there, and it has to be perfect right away. And I think it's credit that's not given to the wrestlers, while in Mexico, they really see you as that athlete, that superhero, that like luchadors, they get buried with their mask out of respect, and it's when you go to Mexico, it's just something that you really feel appreciated by them.
And you just mentioned all the lucha stuff. It's a big deal down there. It's huge.
Oh yeah, it's huge. It's everywhere. Like they do you'll see luchadors do commercials. Like it's part of the culture as much as like football is for them. With football meaning soccer. Yeah.
That's like the two sports down there, basically.
Oh, yeah. Basically, there's lucha and there's football, and it's crazy. I was there once when the Monterrey team won the championship, and people were dancing in the streets and screaming, and they were standing in pickup trucks buck naked. Like, I was trying to sleep at a hotel, and I opened my window. I'm like, what's going on? And I see all these people buck naked dancing because the team won. I'm like, well, this is something.
Well then, I didn't expect to see that.
No.
Let me just close this.
Yeah, I'm like, I'll pretend I did not see this. I see things bouncing around that I don't want to see. I'm like, I'm going back to bed.
And back to sleep. Oh man, I guess that's how they party.
Oh, they were partying. They were having fun. Yeah, well, they were happy. Their team won, so
Good way to celebrate.
I mean, in Montreal, when the Canadians win, people go crazy, and there's a riot in the city. So I mean, this. I mean, that
Not
was
as violent.
That was peaceful. So.
Not burning things.
No.
Rather have not burning things.
Well, yeah, I mean, well, there's a thing in Ohio. You're from here, so there's a thing about burning couches. I never got that. Yeah, with your football team wins or something. I can't remember what it was.
Never heard of this.
It was
What?
at the Ohio States, and people were burning couches. I'm like, what is that? I'm like,
Okay, I'm from Ohio and I haven't heard of this.
I don't know what it. I'm like, I've never understood that people were burning couches. I'm like, if there's someone from Ohio who can explain it, I'm like, I don't know is it like a tradition or something. But it was happening, or maybe it was that. I don't know, that little group of person, but yeah, couches burning. I'm like, okay.
Anyone from Ohio listening that can explain this,
Yeah, that would be
please do. Because I have no idea. Yeah. Dad, thank you for your time.
My pleasure.